Hello, my name is Stacy Stevens and I'm the Director of the International Educator. I'm going to take a little bit of time to introduce you to the TIE standards-based solutions that you have access to as part of your PTC participation. So the first thing that I'm going to walk you through, and after we sort of do this overview, I'm going to move into the portal live so you can see what that looks like. So TIE has uniquely developed a standards-based resume. This is something that's very distinctive and innovative to TIE, where we use the international standards of practice. These international standards of practice are meant as a collection of standards to help support international schools so that we can share standards and we can share sort of desired outcomes for teaching and learning. In the portal, you're allowed to select the relevant standards to your role. You reflect on those standards, and then it allows you to provide evidence vis-a-vis those standards so that you can see what you have done, not just talk about what you have done. That's the shift in a standards-based resume. So these standards were collaboratively developed by PTC, TIE, James Strong, Kim Marshall, and ALOC. PTC and TIE are sister organizations, thus we collaborate closely to think about how we best support schools internationally. And we were lucky enough to find some wonderful partners to really think about what would an international set of standards look like. And so we have put on the table international standards for the following categories. And when you go into the portal, you choose the ones that work best for you, whether it's I'm in a current job and I'm going to look for a new job and it's the same job that I have, then you use the standards that you're currently having. I think when you are in PTC or the Teacher Leadership Institute, perhaps you might be looking for that next step in your career ladder, and those become a really great opportunity that though you may not be in a recognized informal leadership role, how might you use the standards of the role that you're seeking to get to demonstrate your experience and what can you do? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to switch over and jump right into the portal and start walking you through this with my own standards-based resume. So when you get into the portal, when you sign up with TIE or you already have a TIE account, you already have access to these pieces. So what you start here is the major portal here, which just looks like for recruiting. So it's your dashboard, it's Find Jobs, Community Connector. Well, I'm not recruiting, and many of you may or may not be recruiting, but I think the real opportunity here is how do you use that standards-based resume as an opportunity to track, reflect, and document your learning experience while you're in the courses with us this summer and beyond. So I'm going to show you my resume. So I'm not 100% done because I'm not looking for a job. I'm also inactive because I'm not looking for a job. But at any point, you could turn yourself active if you wanted to be active in our recruiting portal. You can share your resume and you can share it outside of the organization if you like to, and there's an extra fee associated with that. Very minimal, I think, especially if you are already in this recruiting portal, it's a very minimal fee. You can also just view your resume and work on your resume. And that's where I'm going to take you to right now, is what my resume looks like and how it's set up. And I think some of the things that are really different about this as a portal for being not just for recruiting, but for being a portfolio of your growth as a leader, as your growth on this journey to leadership, to your next step, your growth as an educator. So you kind of see the overview of who I am, the positions that I'm seeking. Because of the positions that I'm seeking, I chose standards of practice that were in alignment with the role that I was looking for. Now, where I've really done my work is the practice on the systems role as a curriculum coordinator. So what you do is you have these various standards of practice that you reflect on. So one of the standards of practice for systems and roles is design and lead processes and services that demonstrate that the ultimate outcome is promotion of the school's mission. So I do my reflection, and then I'm able to put up my supporting evidence. This is the part where I'm not just telling, but I'm showing what I can do. And this is a really big shift, I think, in the way to present ourselves professionally. So then once I've put my evidence up here, one of the other things I'm able to do is have this nice slider up here that shows some of the things I really want to highlight in the work that I've done in schools. And then it all gets slotted here into a portfolio of all of my evidence. So it's got the typical pieces that you normally see in a resume: experience, education, but this portfolio is quite different, and this reflection on the standards is quite different. And then I think another really important part here is the professional development, that you can also reflect the work and the professional development that you have been doing. Now, when I go back up here to the top and I go back, you saw here that there's my dashboard, which is really about the portfolio. But then there's also the PTC training centers. This is new in the past couple of years, where this is a spot for you to also really track your progress with PTC. So you can see here the color coding and then what the course progress is. You can also see I haven't had any PTC courses in mine. That's why all of these are blank, whereas many of you would jump in and you would see the documentation, because all of this is linked to each other. All of this connects to each other between TIE, PTC, CTC, the Teacher Leader Institutes. It's all connected. So when you click in here, you would see your progress. And then you would also see how you can register for classes. You can see the certificate requirements, a quick overview of all of the courses, and then how is it that you put your courses together, right? One blue, one green, one orange, one any other, and that then gives you your course certificate. And then there's the advanced certificate. So this is how you would sort of use this portal to kind of look at and monitor where you are, what you need, help you to make decisions as you go back. Now, when you finish courses, those certificates show up in your resume. Mine don't, because I don't have any. But what you do is it's this professional development piece here, and you would see those fields appear with your certificates, and you can download your certificates here and you can print them up from here as well. And then any potential employer, if you choose to use this for recruiting, would then see those certificates. If you choose to share the link outside of this portal in another portal or in another place, they would see all of this evidence. So all of this, again, is centered around the standards of practice. I just want to show you where these are and where they live on the TIE website. They're also on the PTC website. And you can see the collaborators and the partners, and you can see the details here. So when you're looking, you can pick those standards that you want to look at and you want to focus on. So that's a really big innovation and shift, I think, for how we can document our learning, how we might find our next position, how we might provide evidence on our next position. So this is a really great tool for you to think about. How do you start using this now? It's very easy to fill out. You're walked through every step of the way through fields to enter what you need to put into there. So it's a very simple tool to use. So this is a really big piece for us here that's really a part of our whole set of standards-based tools. You would be using this and thinking about it from the evidence-based resume and portfolio. An option that you have down the line is you can use it for confidential recommendations. If you're already in a leadership position and someone from the TIE portal asks you, you fill out your confidential recommendations all around the International School Standards of Practice. Something that we're working on that I think is good for everyone to know is we've worked on how do we also connect this to growth and appraisal when you go back to school. The real goal here is to think long-term about how do we set up an ecosystem for international schools and our teachers and our leaders that is really standards-based and based on standards that are relevant to us as international teachers and that are research-based. So beyond those pieces and that environment and those tools, you also have access to the International Educator newsletter that you've been signed up for, that you will see lots of great information about what's going on in our schools. I also want to take a moment to put in a plug to say this is a great place for you to also reflect on what you're learning, what you're doing. Many of you go back, you learn different skills, you learn different things. You innovate, you implement into your schools. We want to hear about the work that you're doing in schools. The idea of the International Educator newsletter is to amplify the voices in our community. And I really want to urge you to think about how might you be one of those voices? How might you share parts of your journey and parts of your work in schools for the good of our community and for the information and the work that everyone is doing. So I just want to say welcome to TIE. We are here for your journey. We're here to support you. There will be some learning opportunities that you will get notification of that we urge you to sign up for if you want a little bit more support in walking through the portal. We're here to help you. Thank you so much, and best of luck on your journey.